Hello beautiful souls and welcome. In today's Tarot and Oracle reading we are going to be focusing on the Starseed Oracle, and then we'll see if we get into Tarot to clarify any of the messages. So how is everyone doing today? It is finally starting to get a little bit warmer here. I know many people have been in full-on spring mode for a while, but not where I live. Perhaps one day we will relocate to a more southern environment and be able to enjoy spring when the calendar says it's spring and not significantly later. Wow, interesting. The card we have today is Water Your Garden. It says, water your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, rest. Which is so funny, as I was just talking about spring and how spring for many people has already shown, and perhaps the flowers have been in bloom for weeks where you are, but this is just reminding us that even as our garden blooms, we still have to take care of it, right? You plant your seeds, you plant your bulbs, but then you still have to take care and nourish and really promote the ecosystem that is your garden or that is your life. Right? You plant your bulbs, you water, you weed, perhaps you put some mulch down, and you can really become immersed within the experience of the garden. And so often we do give that dedication to something we enjoy doing, be it gardening, be it something else, whatever your hobby might be. We will give our time and our energy to what we deem to be important in our lives. And that will look different for everyone. There's no shame, no shade, whatever your hobbies and passions are. But so often when we think about ourself, our physical body, we rarely give it the same dedication, right? So often we are, learning about new ways to progress within our hobbies. We are learning new skills, we are trying new things, we are experimenting. But we forget that we can do that with ourselves too, right? We forget to experiment with new foods to see how our body feels. We forget to adorn our bodies in a way that gives us pleasure, especially with the last year. So many people were perhaps more prone to comfortable clothing, to, there's so many memes and jokes about, video chats and, having discussions where this is all you can see and below the camera is pajamas or perhaps underwear. I am actually wearing real pants today, but quite often I do film in pajamas. But, we so often don't give ourselves the time. Today I even put some makeup on, right? Like, that's not something I do regularly at all. But I felt like pampering myself today and, metaphorically watering my garden. It's just those little things that you enjoy but you might overlook. It doesn't have to be makeup, it doesn't have to be clothes, it could be going to the gym, it could be fueling your body however you like, it could be getting out for a walk in nature, it could be meditating. So often we just, we go about our day-to-day routine and we forget to water the most important garden, which is our body. You might also need to drink some water. We should all drink some water after this video. Go to the kitchen, get a glass of water, delicious. If you don't like plain water, add some lemon or some lime to it. Really good. So, water your garden today. Let's get the Wildwood Tarot out to add a little bit more to that. I love this deck because it is very nature inspired. So as we're talking about a garden, I think it is very applicable. But yes, as we come into spring, it is time to think about new cycles and nurturing new ideas, reforming connections with ourselves, with the people in our lives that we love and we care for. It's a season of rebirth, and when a new life is brought into this world, think of a new baby, think of the excitement, the joy, and the nurturing that is given to that child. For the moment, we're going to ignore the exhaustion and the dirty diapers and all of that. We're going to focus on the love and attention and compassion that that new baby gets, right? Whether in the human world or in the animal world. When a wild animal is born, let's say a deer, right? The mother will clean the baby, nurse the baby, really encourage the baby to get up and start moving. And it's just, you see that bond, right? Now, not all animals do that, but mammals. We're talking mammals, right? Though some birds too. Birds do, reptiles, crocodiles will carry their babies. It's amazing to watch the nurturing energy of a mother, or of a father, of a parent. We don't need to be gender specific in this at all. And, it's just, whether we are physically watering our garden or metaphorically watering our garden, it is a perfect time to really consider it with the spring. Think about spring cleaning, clearing out what's no longer serving you, getting rid of those weeds in your life. We have the Nine of Stones, which is tradition. And in this case, I'm really thinking not only just of traditions, but of habits. And how can you establish new habits that will help your garden thrive? The other card that came out is the Ace of Stones, which is the foundation of life. And it's interesting because in the tradition card behind him are the standing stones. And we also have around the base of this rock, life starting to grow. Grass growing, perhaps the start of some flowers. So how can you've planted yourself in this position in the world, wherever you happen to, lay your head at night, wherever you call home. This is the foundation for your physical being. It's your place of rest, your place of rest. That does not sound good. It's a place where you rest your head. And it's a place where you can water your garden. So what kind of habits can you establish around your home to water the garden that is your body? Perhaps this is taking time to clear out foods that you don't eat. Not necessarily things that are bad, okay? We don't need to be labeling things good or bad. But clear out things that you don't want to be eating, or clear out foods that have expired, to make room for, new things. Perhaps it is time to give your walls a fresh coat of paint, clear out your closet, and really declutter your physical space. Like, the weeding of the garden, getting rid of what will not benefit your garden, physically and then also mentally. So we're talking, with the traditions, we're talking about habits. What do you do when you get up in the morning? Maybe instead of, checking your phone, maybe it's time to meditate for 5 minutes instead of scrolling Facebook for 5 minutes. We all know social media can be a drain, and 5 minutes is never 5 minutes. Soon you're like, oh crap, it's been 30 minutes. I need to go hop in the shower, right? All been there. What else can we do around the house? Perhaps we get into the habit of having the dishes done at night before you go to bed, so you don't have to worry about it in the morning. You can get up, make your coffee, make your tea, whatever it is, not have to worry about cleaning your kitchen before you make breakfast. Little habits. I mean, everyone's tolerance, everyone's idea of what they want to do will be different. Some people could really care less about doing the dishes in the evening, and they much prefer to do them in the morning. Perhaps that is part of your routine. But it's just establishing what you enjoy and putting those habits in place so that you don't feel like you're constantly weeding. You don't feel like you're constantly getting rid of things that aren't serving you or being overwhelmed by things that aren't serving you. If you can put those habits into place, clearing out old food, clearing out old clothes, clearing out whatever, old knickknacks. When you realize that it's time and they have served their purpose and that they can move on to another home or another destination. If we can do that when the motivation strikes, instead of just waiting, you're like, oh, well, instead of getting rid of this one piece of clothing now, which I just tried on and it doesn't fit, I'll wait until next month when I go through all of my clothes. Do it now. Take the 2 seconds to not put that shirt or whatever it is back on the hanger and clear it out now. You can, even if you just put it in a box or in the trunk of your car or something and have it set to go to donation, then when you drive past this thrift store, you can drop it off or list it on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. Get the habits going so that you don't feel like you're constantly having to weed. Instead of having to weed the entire garden, you can weed when you see it, right? Don't let the roots of that weed get established. Just pick it out when you first see it coming up. And another thing on that. So my grandma, who loves flowers, she used to always say, the difference between a weed and a flower is whether you think it's beautiful, right? So everyone's going to have different weeds and everyone's going to have different flowers in their lives. What you think is beautiful is individual to you and is perfect for you. If you think it's beautiful, if it brings you joy, it brings you a spark that the other things don't, then that's wonderful. Nurture that. Water that. For many people, dandelions are terrible weeds. They pull them, they spray them, and they get rid of them. For other people, my light apparently shut off despite being plugged in. For other people, dandelions are fantastic herbal medicine. They are food for the bees. They are amazing plants. They're food for us too. You can eat dandelion greens. You can make wonderful salves with dandelions, right? There's so much that you can do with dandelion. So don't be afraid to water what you believe is a flower. Get rid of the weeds, whatever you believe to be the weeds. Don't be afraid to water and nurture your flowers and get rid of your weeds, whatever they happen to be. Okay? Love, light, and happiness to all of you. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.